Duncan, the UK's National Institute for Health and Care Excellence has published final guidance which recommends the use of several biologics for the treatment of severe rheumatoid arthritis. Can you summarise some of the key points from the guidance as you see them?
Well, the guidance recommends the use of several biologics for the treatment of severe rheumatoid arthritis. These include AbbVie's Humira, Pfizer's Enbrel, Merck Sharp and Dohme's Simponi and Remicade, biosimilar infliximab from Pfizer and NAP, UCB's Cimzia, Roche's Actemra and BMS's Orentia. They can be used in combination with methotrexate. Humira, Enbrel, Cimzia and Actemra can also be used as monotherapy for people who cannot tolerate methotrexate. Critically, the guideline only recommends these therapies for severe rheumatoid arthritis. Patients have to have a disease activity score of greater than 5.1. And they also have to have failed prior therapy, sort of combination therapy with conventional disease-modifying drugs like methotrexate. I guess one of the things that stands out for me really is that this guidelines means that patients with moderate disease, i.e. with a disease activity score of 3.2 to 5.1, aren't eligible for anti-TNF therapy. And this kind of flies in the face of what several other European countries and rheumatology societies have recommended. So the likes of Netherlands, Norway, Denmark, France, and a lot of other countries actually allow anti-TNF therapy to be used in patients with moderate disease. So if you look at the data, it suggests that NICE are essentially disagreeing with what a lot of the key opinion leaders are thinking in terms of how best to treat rheumatoid arthritis.
Significantly, however, biosimilar versions of Remicade, which are marketed by Pfizer and NAP in the UK, have been included in the guidance, and NICE is specifically suggesting that the least expensive drug, which in this case is the biosimilars, should be used first. So given that biosimilar uptake in the UK to date has perhaps not occurred at the pace people would have been expecting, how significant is this part of the announcement?
Well, it's a step in the right direction for sure. Positive NICE guidelines and recommendations that include biosimilars are definitely a good thing. It's happened in the EPO alpha guideline has included biosimilars, the filgrastim guideline for treating febrile neutropenia. They all recommend biosimilars now, as does the growth hormone guideline. So, NICE is sticking to its guns and including biosimilars when they are able to, and when the data provides them with an opportunity to change guidelines. In terms of this guideline, however, I wouldn't say that it's going to have a massive and immediate effect on biosimilar infliximab market share in the UK, and that's for sort of two key reasons. Firstly, only 20% of infliximab's business in the UK is in the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. The vast majority of infliximab use is in the gastroenterology setting, so ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. Secondly, the guideline only recommends starting new patients on a biosimilar. It doesn't provide any guideline or any recommendation on switching. While Merck Sharp and Dohme, who market Remicade in the UK, has claimed that the guideline is skewed in favour of infliximab biosimilars, I'm pretty certain that Merck, the MSD, are likely to be very happy that no switching recommendation has been provided. You only have to, just to give you a bit of perspective, approximately 5% of patients within a specific category within the RA space are newly initiated patients. The vast majority of them are patients that have already been on therapy for a while. So essentially MSD are retaining control of the lion's share. From a switching perspective, it remains one of the most controversial areas of the European biosimilars market, well, globally. Some countries have softened their attitude towards switching, so the Netherlands and Finland have put out position statements saying that switching is okay, switching should be, there should be no concerns when switching patients, while others continue to believe that necessary evidence to support a safe switch is yet to be published, and interestingly the UK is one of those countries.
Okay, this is obviously a matter of opinion, because having spoken to NAP, they're of the view that NICE wouldn't have put the guidance they've put out if they weren't comfortable with the idea of switching, and obviously we've got the opposing view that you've summarised. If it's not explicitly saying switching, then so it's obviously going to be a big area of disagreement, and like you said, it's a big issue. We've got a biosimilar version of Enbrel that's coming to the UK very soon. I mean, can we assume that NICE will then be updating their guidance for the Enbrel biosimilar as well? And, will that just be viewed as a kind of another positive step in the right direction for biosimilars?
I'm not sure that the new approval for Samsung's Benepalo, which is the etanercept biosimilar that you mentioned, I'm not sure that they'll want to engage in regular and in many ways kind of sporadic ad hoc updates to the RA guideline, because you've got to remember that several more anti-TNF biosimilars are due to be approved and launched in Europe over the next 12 to 18 months. You have Samsung's infliximab biosimilar SB2, which is currently under review at the EMA. You also have a biosimilar version of Humira from Amgen under review, and Sandoz has also got an etanercept biosimilar under review. So my take on this is that NICE are likely to wait for a couple of other approvals to come through, experience to be gained, whatever experience that may be, with the new sort of entrance to the market, so Benepali being one of them, and then they'll look to update the guideline in due course. The next sort of guideline is due to be updated in 2019, but I can see that being updated sooner than that, primarily due to the fact that more of these biosimilars are coming.
I mean, what kind of impact could this have on the broader European market?
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that these countries will be looking at what NICE have published and trying to figure out how they can potentially adapt the recommendations and guidelines for their own country. But from a pricing perspective, I don't think a lot can be read into the list price discount that NICE have published in their guideline. The 10% list price discount between the branded product Remicade and the biosimilars Remicade and Inflextra, I believe is a bit of a red herring, in as much that the acquisition cost for a lot of these products bears no resemblance to what the list price of these products is. So, for example, we've had discussions in the past where, we talked to people from Merck, Sharp and Dohme, and they've said that they are discounting Remicade by 25% to the NHS through discounts and rebates. That figure subsequently made it into the press. These discounts and rebates include rebates back to the UK Treasury in the form of rebates and discounts to the PPRS system. So they're not actually discounts that go through to the NHS, it's more of a holistic discount. Some line is that, without knowing exactly how rebates and discounts are being provided by Pfizer, NAP, Merck, Sharp and Dohme, it's impossible to know just how much money the NHS could be saving by switching all patients from Remicade to biosimilars.
Okay, interesting stuff. Thanks, Duncan.